guys, EBPMAN here. Now in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a robot vac that is packed with tech. But it's not just packed with tech, it's packed with convenience. Because this robot vacuums and mops at the same time. And it has scrubbing pads that are going to do all the work for you. Guess what? It's pet friendly too. So you don't have to worry about your little dogs or any of the things that they may leave behind. Let's go ahead and check it out. Now this robot that we're taking a look at is from Dreametech, and it is packed with capabilities. As I said, this is a vacuum scrubbing mop combo. It has a self-emptying station that is going to allow you to pretty much run this for days. Matter of fact, it's self-watering. It actually refills itself using some storage containers that you fill with water. And it has up to 60 days of debris retrieval, meaning that the dustbin itself, as it's picking up all the dust and anything that may be on the floor, it could store up to 60 days worth. Now, this has 5,300 PAs of suction, which is one of the largest or strongest suction that I've seen on the market when it comes to something this size. It has a 2.5 liter clean water tank. And the cool thing about this is that it comes with an additional cartridge that basically injects cleaning solution as you're using it, right? So that's pretty cool as well. It also does auto hot drying of the pads, which is really important because if the pads are wet and they're not dried, then the pads will smell. If the pads smell or stink, when you mop your floor is going to stink too. So this is a really important feature. It also has AI navigation, 3D mapping. It's going to identify things like cables, shoes, pets, and yeah, people and poop, right? So it's going to notice these things. And it's going to identify it and take a little snapshot of it so that you can actually see what it avoided. It has carpet detection, but the cool thing about it is that the carpet detection also means that it raises itself so that the pads themselves will not wet your carpet as it's going over your carpet. It has multi-floor mapping, and it also has the ability to personalize everything that's going on around when it comes to cleaning. It has video capabilities, and as well as it can connect to Amazon, and if you think about your assistants when it comes to asking the robot to do something. So super duper packed with features. So let's take a closer look at the robot. We'll see it in action and see how well it can avoid things. We're going to have an obstacle course for avoidance. You're going to see how well it does with my hardwood floors. Also, I have a hardwood floor tile combo, and we're going to see if it can avoid poop. Let's get right to it. Now this vacuum has everything nicely organized and tucked away so that really you would be the only person that would know that there is a clean water tank, a dirty water tank, and then in the chrome area right there, that's where you're going to find your dust collector. Everything is nicely tucked away in the robot. If we open this up for a second so you can see what's inside, you notice that is where you're going to find both your clean water and dirty water tanks. We'll go ahead and lift this up so you can see how much has been used. We typically fill this up to the top and then see that this actually continues to use itself throughout the process. Now if you're wondering how well does it clean, well, we're going to open this up so you can get a peek inside. Let's go ahead and do this on this side here. And then we're going to take a look at the dirty water. So let's bring that on camera. You see, water not clean at all. And this will continue to run until, obviously there's a little level there. It will tell you when you are pretty much full. Right in between, there is going to be an area for you to use to put that extra cartridge. And we're going to get a little closer so you can see that. So you can see it right there? That's where the cartridge is going to go. Now at the very top of the robot, you'll notice that, or in the docking station, there's some controls too that are going to give you kind of like quick action so that you can get the robot to either come back and also clean itself. Now the dustbin for the robot is found here. As soon as you open this up, it's you're going to find inside that it has a little thing to clean the roller in the event that the rollers do get some debris. And then here you'll notice that this is where your dust collector is going to be. This should be able to last for 60 days if you have a high traffic area. In my case, because all we have are dogs, we really don't see us changing these in 60 days. They last a lot longer. Now the robot itself is packed with a lot of tech, and we're going to go ahead and remove it from the docking station. It has LiDAR, which is going to help it navigating. And the first time it navigates your house, it's going to go slower because it's learning the home. Once it starts mapping, and every single mapping, it feels like it gets smarter and faster as it goes through every cleaning. Now, when I took it out, I left the dust pads or the mop pads in the actual robot right there. Now, we've been using this significantly as we've been going through our tests. And the nice thing about this, and let me test. Yeah, there is no smell. I just did a smell test. The worst thing that you can have with a robot, traditional robots that don't dry the actual pads, is that the pads themselves start to smell. Because this one actually dries it, heat dries it, they don't smell. They actually smell like the detergent itself. So they have a really nice scent to it, and they don't really smell like they're damp. You don't want a damp towel going over your floor because all you do is you spread the scent of dampness. Now, underneath here, there are, an area right here that it kind of scrubs against as it's rotating to clean the actual pads that you see here. If we flip the robot over, we can see what's going on here. You'll notice that this is where the pads go. And I'll go ahead and put this one right here and this one right here. You'll notice also, and it knows that the mop pads are in, this is the area that it uses to bring up the debris. So it's basically, it goes this way. So as it's coming in, this sweeper is sweeping debris in here. Basically, this is collecting, and you notice that it has like a rubberized material here, like a squeegee. So it's going to do a real nice job on wood floors, ceramic tile, and then this is going to be scrubbing behind it, right? And then in the front here, if we flip this over, there are a couple things going on. And we'll open up, actually we'll open up this way right here. You have the actual traditional dustbin here. In my older robots, I would take this out and empty it out. You don't have to do that because it does it automatically. And then what you have here is your switch to turn it on. But pretty much you're not going to be using this much at all. You have a few buttons here at the very front, right? Home, pause, and one of the things that you'll find is that it does have a camera in front so that it can see actually as it's cleaning the floor. Now we're going to do a cleaning test. Actually, it's more like an obstacle avoidance test. And what we have here is, you'll notice there and there is 3D printed poop. We also then have some cups just to see how well it navigates around or see if it hits. And then we have boxes everywhere. And I have some luggage over there. I have something on the floor that's a dog toy over there. And we're going to see how well the robot navigates through this. Now, in order to get it to come directly over here, I have it set up for zone cleaning. So what we're going to do is we're going to have this and the app going on at the same time so you can see what's going on. Now, the first thing that should happen as soon as you start your robot to clean is that the water tank is going to be filled. If the water tank is not filled or the debris tank is too full, it's going to give you a message to basically take care of it. You'll notice how shiny my floors are, right? So the one thing I get a lot of questions on is, will the robot scratch the floor? We have not experienced that at all whatsoever. Now, the robot, we've kind of set this up for zone cleaning. So what we're going to do is we're going to see the actual robot doing its thing, coming towards the specific zone. And we're going to see if it passes the poop test. So there's some poop right there. And we made it specifically difficult because we wanted to make sure that it wasn't just something that was easy to place. So you notice that there's a divider right there on the floor. And the robot is making its way. And notice how it's still cleaning, and it avoided the first poop, and now it's coming to our cup zone. It's working its way around the poop. So you know what, so far, it's doing its thing. Now we're going to see if it identifies poop. Let's see if it touches it. It's avoiding the cups. It had a little booty tap right there for a second, so, but that's okay. And let's see how well it's going to do. And it's going to stop right there. Again, we're putting a lot of obstacles here to see how well this AI works. And it's avoiding it. And it's going to try to do its best around this area. Now, one of the things I've noticed is, like, you can notice that the scrubbers kind of come out a little bit. And you notice it's giving it such a slight tap. But this is really, really good. So it's going to continue. And it's going to go up to that area. Let's see if it sees the poop. It saw the poop. It's going to pass it up. And again, this is, again, a separator going from tile to wood. So let's see how well it does. It touched the poop. It touched the poop. You know what? I don't know. I think that because of the whiskers moving it, it kind of lost the location. So that would be a poop fail. Let's see how well it does with the second one. Again, that was pretty tough, right? We're putting it right in the separator. So I think what happened there is that because the robot lifted, it wasn't able to detect the poop. Let's see what happens as it's going. You can see on the map, if we go in, there's some things that are being detected. So first of all, it's going to tell us some stuff about what's happening here. Let's get a little bit closer. Okay, the robot is going now back, because all I wanted to do was to test this area. Now, the moisture settings, and this is what I like about these type of robots that are doing both things at the same time. You're going to notice that the floor has some moisture to it, but it's not extremely wet, which means that this is going to be a fast drying time. And then when you look at the floor right here, you can see that the floor is relatively clean. Well, not relatively, it is clean. And it's shiny, so my floor stays really nicely shine. All right, so we're going to make this test. We changed some things up on the test here. First of all, you'll notice that I moved the cups around, and then I also moved the poop around. I also threw in something else that's really common in a lot of floors, and that is a cable. Now, in my test, it's done really well with large cables, like extension cords. Anything that you're using to power things that are larger. Let's see how well it does with the charging cable, right? Because that could be on the floor too. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back to our zone, and I'm going to go ahead and draw an area that I want it to clean, all right? And we're going to see how well it does here. And actually, I'm going to extend this a little bit more so it gets a little bit closer, and I'm going to hit go. All right. So we set up. We should then see the robot. I'm going to get out of here for a second. We should see the robot actually come in, and we're going to pull back so that we can see everything that the robot is experiencing. Let's start from right here. So because we've already had the tank full and we've gone through the cleaning, the actual startup cycle is much faster. So as I mentioned, while the robot's coming our way, you can see my floors. It does a really nice job of cleaning things up. I have 4 Pomeranians in our house. I run this regularly, like every single day. The one thing I wish it had is the ability to save zones so that you can just hit a one-button go. So you notice my floor, at least my entryway, is tile and wood. My main entryway, which is the high traffic area where people come through the door, I wish I could just establish a zone, save it, and then have that as a routine, because I really don't have to clean the hardwood floors every day. I would just like the ceramic tile area, and hopefully that's something that they add to the app. Besides that, and then you could use Alexa or Google to do kind of routines with this. But really, being able to save that zone would be super cool. The other thing that I really like about this is it does give you kind of like a 3D map view. So you'll notice right now we're taking a look at my map, and then you can see the actual layout of the home, of the area that it's working on. It does, right now with this view that you have right here, it's kind of like, it's just one-dimensional, so doesn't have multi-dimensional views. But once it's done cleaning, what you find is that it has a pretty detailed map. It even does put furniture in the non-3D view. And right now it's just going through and it's cleaning itself. So you can see the little icon rotating, which is just, again, cleaning the wheels or the scrubbers. And it's going to come out in just a second. All right, so here it comes. And you can see on screen the robot leaving its docking station, and it's moving. And it's basically going to come into our torture zone. And it noticed again the toy stopped. All right, it's going to try to get around it because I expanded our cleaning zone to include that. It's not able to do that. And you'll see kind of like the moisture level, how much it's leaving behind as it's doing its thing. So what I like about it is that it's spot free too. So no spots, nothing left behind. And you can see right there that moisture track right there. That's what we put to clean. Now here's our cup. Saw the cup. Let's see if it didn't work the way around it. It did tap it, right? It sees it. It's going to work around it. Sees it. And now it's going to continue to work around it. Let's see. And this is tough, right? Typically, dog poop isn't as close in this kind of torture test that we have going on. Let's see. And all right, it sees the other one. Good job. It still tapped it slightly. All right. Let's see if it's avoiding the cable. Uh-oh, it touched the cable. Cable fail, cable fail, cable fail. And because it failed with the cable, it's basically now dragging the poop too. Oh, there you go. There you guys have it. If you have a cable fail and it has one obstruction, it's going to most likely start failing on the other area. So pick up any of your cords because now it's just mad robot. Now we've removed the actual cable out of its way and it's going to continue to clean. We're going to see if it's going to be able to do well with that one poop there and just avoid it. And you can see it is. And for those of you who are curious about what our model looks like, this is what it looks like. So it's it's a 3D model of poop. This is how we test, right? And you know, I wouldn't give this thing a failing grade, a super failing grade, because we do have little ones and it's running every day and they do make mistakes, and I will tell you it has yet to drag anything with it. This is a real extreme case where you have cables, you have cups, you have boxes. I just wanted to push it really hard. Remember, this does have the ability that if there is a carpet area, it will raise the scrubbers that it has behind it, and it will not wet that surface. So guys, that wraps up our review. See you in the next one.